Okay, so theoretically most of these bolts should come out really easy because we had them out before. The ones that I'm worried about are the ones we didn't take out before, right there on the EGR system. So there's 4 bolts there that we didn't take out before, but we need to take out so we can replace that gasket. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and spray down all of the bolts on the exhaust with the penetrating oil, and then let them sit, and then hopefully when I go to take them out, they will come right out. So, well, the other side, the exhaust manifold bolts are soaking in PB Blaster. I am going to be taking off this coolant rail. So a couple hose clamps, we'll take those off, take the hose off, and then we'll take the rail off. It is 6 bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the middle, 5, 6 on the end. And then we will take the coolant rail off, and then we will take the spark plugs and spark plug wires off. You can get the spark plugs out without taking the coolant rail off, but it's a lot easier, as I discovered last time when I went to put the spark plugs in. It's a lot easier to do all that when you take the coolant rail off. So since we have to take it off anyway, may as well take it off first and then have an easier time getting the spark plug wires off and the spark plugs out. So removing the coolant line, the coolant rail, wasn't too bad. Moving the generator was a little bit harder than I thought it should be, a little bit harder than it was last time. I guess I tightened the bottom bolts a little too much, and then when I was trying to loosen them, I was having a heck of a time, and also ended up tightening them a little bit here and there. It's always difficult when you have a nut and a bolt and you're trying to think, well, which way am I facing, so which way would be left, because if you're facing toward the bolt, so for instance, so this bolt right here, we are facing the opposite side, so we turn what feels like left to us is actually right to the bolt. So to undo this bolt here, you need to actually turn it, because it's on the opposite side, it's not facing you, it's facing away from you. You need to turn it toward your right, which is the bolt's left. And so that gets confusing sometimes, and then you end up tightening something, over tightening something instead of loosening it, and then you have a heck of a time getting it loose again. But we got the generator moved over so it can stay right there. And now we have a much better access to the spark plugs and the plug wires. So I'm going to go ahead and take those off. You've seen it a bunch of times. And then we will go from there. So it is noon and we've made pretty good progress. Got the coolant rail off, got the generator moved out of the way, got the spark plugs and plug wires out. On this side we have sprayed everything down with PB Blaster, and we also got the carburetor off. So when we come back from lunch, we will be working on this again. I'm not sure what exactly I'm going to do next. I have a few different options. One of the options is I can try to get the exhaust manifold off, if the PB Blaster has had time to really work on those bolts. The other option is I could take the side cover off, or I could take the valve cover off. But I'm not sure which I am going to do, and we'll figure it out when we get back from lunch. It is noon.